Okay, my friends, so if you are here, it means you've finished your garment and you're about to weave in your ends, which has a bad rap, but it is immensely satisfying, even though it does take a while. I wanted to show you a few different places where you would be weaving in ends, and just to give you a real sense of how to do it. So here we've got on a hem, and so that might be the corner of a cardigan front, the ribbing on that, or just down the bottom of your garment. So when we weave in ends, this is the wrong side. So we put the right side down, we get our darning needle and our tail, and we thread through. Oh, that was a bit of a tricky one. And what we want to remember with weaving in ends is the way you kind of angle and pull the thread is the shape that it's going to give. So if you kind of went to weave in it this way, it's going to pull it up. If you went to weave in that way, it's going to pull it that way. So it's just something to think about when you are weaving in ends. So it also depends on what stitch you've got around you. So here is a rib stitch. So that would be different to if you had like a garter stitch here. So I'll show you both of those. So with a rib stitch, what I like to do is use these beautiful rib rows, and I like to snake up here. So I go in and snake, I kind of follow it but in the opposite direction, if that makes sense. So it kind of is forming a little twist up here. So you're going in that stitch and it forms a little twist. And then generally you always want to come back down the other side. So go across just to give it that extra little U bend in order. So just come down a couple more on the other side, and then you snip it off. You give it a little bit of a tail and snip it off there. So that is weaving in the ends for something like the edge of your hem on a rib stitch. Where are some other spots? So the controversial thing is what to do on the inside. So say you've started a new yarn and you've got these two tails. In all reality, if it's in a seam, if you've already seamed up, which you would have by now, I double knot. I tie a double knot and then pull it really tight, and then I chop. But you can, if you would like, go through and weave in all these edges without tying a knot. That is an option if you would like to take that, and perhaps there might be places that you do that. God, I've got a lot of ends to weave in. No wonder people gripe about this. So another way that I wanted to show you weaving in ends is if it's going to be a visible seam edge. So not many of the garments have this, but it's handy to see. So this is on the V-neck vest. We've got visible edges. So here are our yarns where we want to weave in, and I just tied it to keep it in shape. So I'll untie it and pop the needle on. And like I said, the thing to remember, so I'm going onto the inside, is that whichever way I pull this thread is going to shape, whichever way I pull this thread is going to shape the garment. So essentially, I need to do that again there. So essentially I kind of want this to come down and in. So that's what I'm going to do here. So I've threaded my little yarn. So I'm going to go through this purl. And so here we've got a garter stitch. So we're going to do a similar thing in terms of weaving, but we're going to use the garter stitch. So we're going to go this way and that way along this garter, along this purl edge. So if you are doing stockinette stitch, which shows all knits on one side and all purls on the inside, you'd do this one. You'd use all your purl bumps. Okay, so I've done that, and then remember I want to go back a few. So always leave a bit of yarn to go back a couple of times, just to give a bit of a U, to really make sure that yarn's held. And then you do your snip. So then the next one will be this, and see that I've pulled that a bit tight, because you just really want to make a neat edge. And again, I want to see which way I want to pull this. Do I want to pull it back and in, up? I think back and in really. So I kind of want this one to come down this way. Really? Oh, the roofers have got some tunes playing. Oh, he's come off. Okay, pop that back on. But weaving in edges is really, you kind of take it as it goes. You see what you've got to deal with, whether you're on an edge, whether you're in the middle, and you can make the call from there. Well, I don't have a very long tail. You can just do a few then. Oh, and he's come off. So this might happen, you just re-thread him back on, and I just want to get one more in, so I'm going to kind of stretch it and do that, and then cut it off. And now another place that you'll be doing this is, oh, have I already weaved in my edges up there? Oh my God, I'm so good. Would be along these seams. So again, if it's not going to be visible, you can decide whether you want to just tie it off and double knot and snip. But it is quite handy to just understand that you might get a bit of bulk if you do that. But using the weaving in method, you can kind of lay things nice and flat, and that's your decision. So essentially the rule is that you try and find a row, whether it would be a purl row, and you go in and out to weave it like that. Or if you have a rib stitch, a knit row, you're going in and out of these, and you always want to do a U, come back a few stitches. Hopefully that was helpful, and good luck.